to take us, to invite his team, invite his people the way he wants to run the ceremony before we hand over back to myself to invite the DG. Dr. Mwangi.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. for your very kind words and hospitality. We are glad to be here, Director General, Nairobi Metropolitan, and for you hosting us. We know what is in your hearts at the moment, the enormous projects you have in the informal settlements, to rehabilitate them. But today, at very short notice, we are really glad, Major General Mohammed Bandi, for choosing to be with us. It shows what lives of your frontline staff means to you. It shows what it means about people. I'm glad that the board of the hospital superintendent of Musa, our colleagues, his colleagues, and the entire community around has graced the occasion. We came today on behalf of the COVID-19 Response Fund and Equity Group Foundation to align ourselves with the frontline medics and frontline staff dealing with COVID patients on two accounts. One, appreciating the great work that they are doing. Two, appreciating the sacrifice shown by their commitment. It's really depressing to hear the statistics from Dr. Joycelyn Bai of about 200 medics in Nairobi County having been infected in the course on the line of duty. And it's on that basis that we felt, as a foundation, we could work together and complement the fund with a sum of 1.1 billion shillings to ensure we make our contribution and do a gesture to the medics of appreciation on behalf of the membership of Equity Bank. But the real story is not about the money that has been put into this program. It's about the collaboration that has come through to see this program become what it is today. When Equity Group Foundation committed and I was made the chair of the COVID Fund Health Committee, I didn't know where to start because I'm not a medical doctor or an expert in health. But fortunately enough, my chairman of the board, Professor Macharia, is a medical doctor, a specialist, a surgeon in ENT. And when I reached to him, he said, okay, I think we can handle that. But what amazed me is the thought process. He said, we are trying to provide a solution to the medics. The best thing is to involve them. And so Professor Macharia formed a committee of medical service or medics or medical frontline staff, either nurses, clinical officers. And I'm really glad that out of the 7, we have 2 of them with us here today. And I want to take this opportunity to really appreciate the enormous amount of work they have done. The first thing we realized from a business perspective was that we could not rely on the global supply chain because our PPEs could be unreliable because of supply shocks. We could not guarantee hospitals that we could be able to provide PPEs in a regular manner. The second thing, we could not guarantee quality because everybody was trying to beat demand. And so that committee of 7 under Professor Macharia decided to challenge Kenya Association of Manufacturers and gave them samples and said, when you beat this quality, come to us. Little did they know the journey they had set themselves up to. Because when they bet the quality, they were told that is not good enough. We wanted a better quality. And for the next, I think, 7 weeks, it was a journey of improvement. And I'm glad that with me here today is the Chief Executive of Kenya Association of Manufacturers, who we served together on the board of COVID, and who took the responsibility of ensuring our Kenyan manufacturers were able to provide that quality. So for me, from Equity Group Foundation and the FAD, we wanted to say to the doctors, to the nurses, to the clinical officers, and to all the frontline staff working in this hospital, you can hold us for facilitating, but hold your association shares for the quality of the PPEs. And I want to ask one of the 7, the Chief Executive of Kenya Medical Association, to come and give a guarantee and an assurance to all those assembled here today, and particularly the frontline staff, that this quality is certified by your associations and they take responsibility for quality. Daktari. And as Daktari comes, Daktari is more of my daughter. We have worked together with Equity Bank. She's a member of the Equity Leadership Program that has come through, and seeing one of our own from the Equity Program becoming not just a doctor, but being trusted by all the doctors to become their chief executive, we take a lot of pride in that. And it is these doctors who went through the bank who have formed the Equity Afia Clinic franchise. And Daktari, give an assurance before we give the PPEs, because we came to give the PPEs.
Thank you very much, Dr. James Mwangi. To the Director General, Major Babi, thank you very much for gracing this occasion. I would like to give assurance on behalf of the Technical Working Group, led by Professor Macharia, that we have walked this journey from the beginning of the procurement process with PHYLIS Wakiaga. I think the first time we went there, we saw a lot of PPEs, and most of them were not up to standard, and we have worked back and forth, wearing all those PPEs and making sure that the quality is good, reading about what is the best practice. So I can assure my fellow colleagues from Mama Lucy that yes, we have gone through the process of making sure that it's quality, and we take responsibility for anything that is not up to quality, and we are sure we can work with the manufacturers to ensure that the process will be perfect. Thank you very much.
Sign it off by introducing yourself so that your name goes on record.
I am Dr. Elizabeth GITAU. I am the CEO of Kenya Medical Association and also a proud beneficiary of the Equity Leadership Program. Thank you.
Certificate issued by Dr. Elizabeth. So, Medics, you can take comfort as you use these PPEs, that they have been certified by one of your own. I think Director General allow me to call my colleague PHYLIS, who really would like her to assure that what others can do, Kenyans can do. We have never produced PPEs, and in a matter of 2 months, we've been able to produce PPEs. And this hopefully will inspire our people to aim high and to desire to do anything that human beings have done before. Because we took just a sample, the Kenyan manufacturers. So we feel as you can guarantee that is made and built in Kenya by Kenyans, I would really take gratitude.
Thank you very much, Dr. James Mwangi. DG, I recognize your presence, and all the distinguished ladies and gentlemen here with us today. I stand here today wearing 2 hats. One of them is the CEO of Kenya Association of Manufacturers, but the second is also a member of the Kenya COVID-19 Fund Board. I've been tasked with chairing the Procurement and Logistics Committee, and that is how we got working together with Professor Masharia and the team that he has put together as a technical team. When we began the journey, we had three things in mind. The quality, so that we ensure that we protect the healthcare workers. And at this point, allow me to really thank the health management team and all the healthcare workers for the work you're doing. The second thing we were looking at was the local content, because our chair, who is not here, and Dr. Mwangi, were very clear that we are getting money from Kenyans. We want to make an impact in Kenya to local content. So we're going to be very deliberate about working with the local manufacturers. And the third thing also was value for money, to ensure that whatever we are procuring, also because of the responsibility we are tasked with as a board, that we get value for money for those procurements. So on the issue of quality, as has been mentioned, we have worked very closely with the Health Technical Committee and the local manufacturers. And it has been a journey of continuous improvement. And where we are today, we are actually producing quality, locally manufactured products certified by the Health Committee. In fact, there's a joke that the doctors are now calling them the equity or COVID group quality, because it is quality that is confirmed. And then in terms of local content, we have continued to work with the local manufacturers. And when we started, a number of things were not being produced locally. But today, out of all the PPE items, I think the only one left, the machines are coming into the country, and soon even N95s will be procured locally. And lastly, on the issue of cost, because of the economies of scale and the assurance of market, we have seen the cost of the products also come down locally. And where we started off, Dr. Mwangi will confirm, we've been able, as this COVID Fund and Equity Group Foundation, to procure at less than half the prices, or even almost a third the prices that we started off with. And what this simply means is that we'll be able to supply for an even longer time for the healthcare workers. And lastly, on the issue of logistics, we are also partnering with other partners to ensure that the goods actually get to the doctors and the health workers. So thank you, Dr. Mwangi, for leading and driving this initiative with Jane Karuku, who is the chair of the fund. And I want to assure everyone that the manufacturers will continue to produce quality. You'll see a lot of continuous improvement and innovation happening within the country. And at the end of the day, it will be about job creation and making a difference in our economy as Kenyans. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Phyllis. And last but not least, let me introduce Dr. Joan Colil. Is Joan with us? Dr. Joan Colil works with Equity Group Foundation. She's in charge of assuring quality on equity area services provided by all the franchise doctors, ensuring that it's the same quality that we are known for. But more importantly, she's the liaison officer with this facility. So at this facility, there is a liaison committee. Maybe if any of them is around, maybe they could come forward a bit. The liaison committee of Mama Lucy Hospital. Dr. Musa, you did elect a liaison team. Oh, they are coming. So essentially, these PPEs in general, although they are for Mama Lucy Hospital, would like their management by this committee of users. And the essence is, these PPEs are being manufactured in the country, and they are the ones using them. We have an opportunity of improving this quality of whatever PPEs are produced in the country by ensuring that we give feedback before the next order is supplied. And that is why we are passing over the PPEs to you, so that you check, you guarantee, you test, and Dr. Joan Colil becomes your liaison. On daily basis, you can give feedback, and that is quickly transmitted to PHYLIS and the factories. So that if there is anything being produced in terms of fitment, the size of Kenyans, anything, then it's given feedback. And that is how society improves itself. I want to really appreciate for your commitment. The job has been started, take it to the next level. Be more demanding than you have ever been, so that truly, eventually Kenya can be an exporter and a major exporter of PPEs. And so, Joan's colleague is the liaison officer with that technical team of doctors, and please help us to make the country's production much better, and PHYLIS will be really happy, because if we do it to have the best PPEs in the world, then hopefully in your next life you can be managers of manufacturing of PPEs, because that will become a major industry in this country. Not just for Africa, but we can export like the way the EPZ is exporting to US and to Europe. So we deeply appreciate, make use of them, prudent use, so that the shilling can last much longer, because we don't know how long this situation will be with us. So, Dr. Bedi, every Kenyan is involved. It's an initiative for all. Thank you very much. And lastly, all these initiatives I said was under the leadership of a professor. Professor is when you reach the apex of study. I've been amazed in all the places that I've gone, the doctors I've met, and today including Dr. Musa, I understand was a student of Professor Macharia. We at Equity Bank are very privileged to have Professor Macharia as our group chairman. And he's now trying to turn banking services to be developed with the same precision that medicine is produced, and handling of customers to be done with the same care that health workers and doctors handle patients. So there seems to be a possible partnership between Equity and Mamalusi Hospital. And since, let's see whether it can work, because we are being tutored by the same person. So allow me to invite my chair. It's really, I get the opportunity to invite and speak after my chair, Professor Macharia, to address us.